So what's today's app?
Today's app, two of my friends are coming on who live in Polperro. We should say, if you haven't listened to the Polperro app, go back and have a listen because it's sort of related to that, isn't it? Was it? Yeah, it is.
How long we got them for? Like quarter of an hour. I mean, I could easily talk to them for 45 minutes about living there.
Yeah, well, we're going to sort of, aren't we? But I used to live in I lived in Polperro for about 3 months, and they were my neighbours, our neighbours, and we really got on with them. And they lived there, and I lived there probably now for like 20 years. And I've told you about their garden or their allotment on the cliff edge, haven't I? And that's now in the running for Garden of the Year
That's amazing.
in Gardener's World. Honestly, though,
Well, how many have been shortlisted?
I don't know, 10 or something. But if you'd seen it, it's one like now, you know, one of those things where they took us up there and went, because we go back and see them occasionally. And so this was about a few years ago. They took us up, and they hadn't made it quite as nice as it is now. And so we were walking along the path over to Talon Bay, you know, that path over Talon Bay, and they went, and then there was this little gate in this sort of hedge, and we went through this hedge, and then their allotment just sort of opened up, obviously, to the sea, and we were like, fucking hell. And now it's obviously Garden of the Year. It makes a lot more sense that you go, oh, because we were like, this is mental, right? This is really nice. And now we're like, oh yeah, it's so nice. It's going to be, could be Garden of the Year. And we're going to hopefully get people to vote for it.
That's amazing, Garden of the Year.
Yeah,
Think how many gorgeous gardens have been set?
I know. But theirs is super cool, and I'm sure they said about it. But they live, so that's why they're coming on. Actually, talk about Polperro because they listen to the Polperro app. They put stuff on Facebook. Actually,
Is this Gardener's World?
Gardener's World magazine.
Right, Gardener's World magazine. Gardens of the Year competition. Gardener's World. Could you and your garden be the winners?
Well, no, our friends could.
The winner of the judge's choice will receive a holiday for two.
Really?
Yeah, courtesy of Pure Michigan and Visit Detroit, worth over £6,000.
So they get a holiday to Detroit. So there's a bloody good reason for them to.
Last year's winner, Nadine Mitschinas.
Pardon?
On a sunny allotment site in Oxfordshire, Nadine has created a paradise that's bursting with blooms and buzzing with wildlife. I can sense some sound effects coming.
Yeah, that's what we all could.
Beginning with one weed-choked plot in 2010, over the years she's single-handedly transformed 3 plots into a beautiful collection.
There are pictures of it. Does it look nice? Can you describe it to me?
Actually, there's only the one here.
Or
and it's
describe
not,
that. Does it look like Garden of the Year?
Well, she's just stood in amongst her flowers. And
Well, I meant what the garden looks like, not where's she.
well, I'm looking at her T-shirt. She's got that Yoda on her
Very
T-shirt.
glad you said T-shirt
It feels like it's the sun is setting on a summer's
in
evening.
Oxfordshire.
I'm a cottage garden dude.
Hi,
And I get the feeling your friend, what's their names again?
Vicky and Maxine.
I get the feeling theirs is a little cottage garden.
I thought there's some pictures on Facebook. I can maybe get you. They put some pictures on Facebook. It does look like you know. Oh my god! Yeah, my god! Look at this. Oh my god! Yeah, their one was used on the front cover. Look at this.
Dangerous, as I know from being on the Guardian Culture magazine, that sometimes that does not pay off when you enter a comp.
Well, because you're the one to beat.
Yes.
So you're Goliath. Oh god! Don't say that to them.
No. Oh my god! Thank God for that. I had a blueberry stuck to my tooth. Imagine if they came in.
I'm sure they would. mention it.
Oh, okay.
That's their garden, and it's on the front of garden as well.
Right, okay, that view is a bit special.
That
So they've got like these stone paving slabs. So in the background, what I'm looking at is the Atlantic Ocean,
Yeah.
I guess.
yeah, and it's really high up, and it's secluded, and it's beachy, and it's just paradise. It's paradise. When we went to visit, it was a very higgledy-piggledy, but still magical. Yeah, I like. Well, it's a bit like when we talked about our hair the other day, where you go, is it messy or is it cool? Is that garden messy or is it just like where I want to sit? Too manicured, you don't want like a footballer's garden, do you?
We've got a big patch of lawn out the front, and I just let it grow all summer and cut paths through it for the boys to run around.
Oh, that's nice. So it's got a kind of rusticy.
Just let the insects play. Not my sons, I mean the insects. Yeah.
The insects play. Go on, boys.
That'd be my book. I'd like to write a book called Let the Insects Play.
Good. Do you know what? That made me think you know your onions. I don't know. It felt like the words of someone who's confident about gardening.
This is where I go quiet when your friend.
Oh, yeah. Well, because you're... Oh, yeah. So do you want me to mention you used to be a gardener?
No. I was thinking about this because
No.
I haven't done any gardening for 10 years, like the way I did. And I remember I always had a book on me in the van. I was always trying to learn. And I haven't done that for 10 years.
That's fine. You're not a gardener anymore. It's a bit weird if you were keeping your thumb in and not doing. I had to fill out a form about being self-employed the other day, and it said, "How long have you been employed?" Like, anyway, it's boring, but I had to put over 10 years, and that blew my mind. I was quite proud of the fact I've been self-employed for a long time because it's scary. Well done, me.
Did I tell you when I first started gardening, my first ever job that I got? I'd left my job. I thought, I'm going to be a gardener. Did I tell you this?
No, I don't think so.
I probably told you it.
Don't think so.
It's really nerve-wracking. I got cards done. I bought some like second-hand tools. I had like I put adverts out, and someone rang up and said, I've got work, like a day's work.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, so I charged like 120 quid a day or something, 100 quid a day. I turn up, I don't know anything about anything. And who said it? Someone said to me, just have the books in the van. And if they say, can you do this? You go, yeah, I can do that. Go to the van and work out how to do it.
That's good advice.
No, So I turned up at this large detached house with a nice garden, and he basically said, I want you to weed all the beds. Well, I thought, that's harder than you think, because you don't know if you don't
If you
know
pull up the
anything
wrong
about-
thing, yeah.
Oh, you don't know what you're dealing with. If they've lost their flower or whatever, you're like, I don't know what that is.
Oh my god! Even weeding's. I feel sick now. This is such a stupid idea.
Yeah, so I was streaming for some reason. Anyway, he had this really established garden rose, climbing rose, along a trellis, and I snipped it at the bottom. And I went, oh, fuck. Like, that must have taken, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years to go, fuck. Look in the books. What's it say? Snipped garden rose at the bottom. Oh, it just says you're a fuck. So I got the rose and I just
Stuck it in the ground.
pushed it into the soil. I thought, fuck it, he won't know. At the end of the day, he said, I was packing out and went, David, can I have a chat? Yeah?
Oh, God.
And he took me and said, did you do this? Yeah. And he didn't tell me off, but he just let me know he was disappointed. That was my first day gardening. I went, I'm really sorry. I can't imagine growing a plant out there for years and some prat comes along.
You're still paying 120 quid. Because you know what's the word? You pushed it in the ground. That's the humiliating bit.
No, you fucking liar. You tried to pull the wool over my eyes. You horrible 34-year-old. Fuck off and get on a stage.
Go and do a podcast. You're not even good at that.
You horrible
Podcaster.
Yeah, and then make light of my garden 12 years later, you fucking piece of shit.
14 years later. 14 years later.
14 years later.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I feel...
Here's another one. What was her name? Mrs. I don't know, Gasponzo or something. David, could you please not go on your phone as much as you do?
No.
While you work in my garden. Here's another one, because I used to smoke a lot of pot at the time. David, I got a call one evening. David, you left all your tools in my garden. Like the Mary Celeste, I just left. Said your strimmer's there, your hose there, your rake's there. I was so clouded, my brain, my memory was shot to bits. And I went back, I was like, wow, it's just all laid out in their garden. I just left. I told you about the woman with her knockers out. What else is there?
I can't remember what happened.
Don't know, she was just showing her knockers.
What a roller coaster of a job. One day you're getting a bollock in, the next one you're flashing.
And the guy who fancied me, Jeffrey from Hayward Heath, he's dead.
What are you going to say?
I don't know, I told you about Jeffrey.
No.
He used to ring me in the evenings. Hello, David. Oh, hello. Everything all right? Yeah, fine. You? Yeah, not too bad. But I once went round to his. He was about 80. And would you like to come in for a cup of tea?
Left that bit of detail out.
Oh, he's really old. Would you like to come in for a cup of tea? I'm sure I've told you
I
this.
haven't heard this.
I knew he was looking me up, and I knew he sort of liked what he saw. Come in for a cup of tea. So I went into his house, sat on his sofa. He had a grand piano in this semi-detached house, and he just sat down and started playing the piano to me. And it was just slightly out of tune, and I just sat there watching him. He was most peculiar, that man.
Oh, my God. Oh, God. Please go back to gardening.
God, got quite a few odd bods.
Oh, God. There was a guy in my flats who played the violin who kept asking me to come for dinner. It's really hard to say no when you live in the same block of flats.
Did you go?
No, I didn't. He used to play really beautiful violin, and I used to have to run past his door. And I used to have to it got really stressful for about a year. He was there a year. It was like a perfectly nice man, but it was like, you are coming for Sunday lunch.
It's like Uncle Monty. That's what it feels like.
You're coming and I will not take no for an answer. He'd say like this, and I'd be like, oh, I'm away on Sunday, and then I'd have to go out on Sunday. Just fucking hell. They're here. They're here. They're here.
Oh, I can't wait. Where do we start?
Hey!
Wow.
Hey, sorry we're late. We had to download Zoom.
Oh, you
The mag.
just happened to be reading a magazine there.
Yeah,
How are you?
yeah, all good.
Are you in your
How are
you in
you
your
going?
lovely kitchen?
We
Are
are.
you in Polperro now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, David. This is Maxine and Vicky.
Hello.
Hi,
I've
David.
stayed next door to you.
Yeah. We saw you actually.
When? Recently?
When you were staying, we remember.
Not recently.
No, it was ages ago, years ago. You stayed,
yeah.
didn't you?
We came. I spent it for quite a few days this summer in Polperro.
Oh, he loves it. He loves it.
Honestly, well, we looked at a house just behind you on the hill. We
Oh,
didn't. We
okay.
couldn't afford it, but we thought we'd have a nose.
Kills an afternoon. Doesn't it?
Have a look at what you can't have.
Oh, what's it like
Yeah.
living in Polperro?
It's great. It's lovely. It's lovely. And you know, it's you kind of pinch yourself a little bit from time to time, to be fair.
You've
It's
you've listened to our Polperro episode.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
I
there
loved
any
it.
truth in our episode?
There were a few inaccuracies, so much so I had to actually Google when Coke Z was actually launched in the UK. I couldn't believe that. I really did Google it.
How long have you been living in Polperro for?
It's actually 15 years next week.
And where did you move from?
So we were living in just on the North Wales, Shropshire border. Well, we were actually in Wales.
yeah.
Yeah, and I just basically my grandparents came down here in the 70s and bought a place up the top up at Killygarth with a view to sort of retiring, and we came down as kids and ended up staying sort of for 6 weeks, and whenever there was a holiday, and this was in the 70s, and fell in love with it. Yeah, but I didn't come back for, I think it was 32 years. So me and Maxine came down, and we were supposed to be just doing a couple of days, weren't we? And
That's
we ended
right.
up staying a week. And then we kept coming back. And I broached the subject and said, you know, I want to move there. And she said, fuck off.
I'm not going to live there.
Anyway, 2 years later, we got married here, and yeah, and
Wow.
moved in 6 months later.
Oh God, it's so true. I loved it. I loved it when I was down there.
I really want to know what it's actually like to live there day to day. Is it?
It can be limit testing. Let's be honest. So you
Here we go.
you talked about how you know the windows are at sort of eye level. Eye level is bi-level for anybody to just freely look in, and they can't
They
quite
don't
see.
care.
They'll put their fingers around your
The
window.
girls' kitchen is on the ground floor. So you know the lounge in next door. You know where you sit there. So their kitchen is the whole ground floor basically. So that is the
Right.
pier arena, and then your lounge is the one above, and then the bedroom above that, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Such a
Yeah, and
lovely
you
house.
get people like I remember once there was this chap. He came right up to the window and he's looking in, and then he got his kid on his shoulders so the kid could look in too, like this. and you kind of stand there going, "What?" And they don't care.
It
Just
is-
don't care.
It is
No,
quite.
well, I
goldfish.
don't. No, I don't care.
Does Richard Madeley still walk past? By the way,
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that he doesn't put. He doesn't put hats on the wall.
oh yes,
Puts a candle
It's
in it.
candles. So Richard Madeley has been supplying us with candles for 15 years. I've never had to buy a candle for my warlock.
they've got a little.
Do you ever talk to him?
Yes.
Yeah, we have done. Yeah.
But you've got explain.
Yeah.
You've got like a little troll thing out the front of the house, haven't you?
Yeah, it's a
A
warlock.
warlock,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Richard Madeley puts stuff on it randomly and has done for years.
Yeah, so yeah, it's candles. So he always brings a candle with him when he walks down to get his papers and
I think that's the first
replaces
thing.
the candle.
A friend of ours had a book signing at the Blue many years ago because she wrote a book, and he was.
Did you
there.
say the blue?
Yeah.
With Peter, yeah.
Yeah, when you're local, you get to call it the Blue. Oh, one moment. One moment when you think I've been here long enough, and I'm going to go to the Blue.
Well, you served a pint in there, didn't
I
you?
did, yeah. God, I forgot
Yeah.
about
Did
that.
you, what, you went behind
I
the
did,
bar?
yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
I don't tell you everything, David. I'm a humble man. God, I'd forgotten about that. That was a hell of a moment. God, I love that pub. Sorry, we were talking about the.
And it's okay. So Richard was in the Blue, supporting a friend of ours who was having a book signing piece. Walked up to him, and there he is, the old Lothario, expecting me to swoon. And please, could you sign my arm? I'll tattoo that later. And I was like, "Hi there." I said, "Can I have got a question for you? Do you always walk around with a candle in your pocket?"
Were you pleased to see me? I did. And he was horrified, wasn't
He
he?
was absolutely horrified. I subsequently did share with him where I was going with it. Oh, yes. And it still continues.
So do you work at the moment?
Yes.
So where do you work if you live in Polperro?
So I work at a site. We've got two sites, one in Plymouth and one in Leicester. So after we've spent a bit of time this morning, I'll be buzzing off all the way to Plymouth, which isn't far away.
What's that about? Because that's about 20 minutes from me, Plymouth.
Yes, it's about 55 minutes for me.
Is it?
Or sometimes an hour and a half.
Depends on summer traffic.
And what do you park just up the lane at the top of Polperro?
Yes,
and then walk down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I find it so magical. I really do.
I really wanted to shout. I know where they park their car, but I thought that's really weird.
Oh, and that was the other thing. The Bambi is the camper van is called Bambi.
Yeah, what did I call
Not
it?
Dolly.
Dolly. Sorry, Bambi.
That's all right, Charlie.
I love the idea. How annoyed you got about 15 times. No, the gap's not there between those houses. Idiot boy.
How often do properties come up for sale?
Quite a lot at the moment, because I think a lot of people are so the holiday, ones that are holiday cottages, people are offloading.
Are they?
Yeah. So I think there's a fair bit coming up at the moment, but there's been quite silly stuff going on, as there has been all around Cornwall, where places have been sold just over the internet without even anybody coming to see them.
You
And does everyone know everyone in Polperro?
Yeah.
But it's still very much a community.
I mean, there is probably more so now. There's probably more people from when we were first here that I don't know, just simply because there has been a lot of people, which is great for the community moving in, and we don't really go to the pub very much anymore. So that's how you tend to get to know people.
Oh, you don't go over to the Blue anymore?
Well, we went last night, but
I was about to say you sent me a picture of you in the pub.
Yeah, just to rub it in.
So you have been in the pub very recently. They said,
yeah, but we don't go so often because we don't get a lot of sort of free time at the weekend, and we spend it at the Lottie, to be honest.
This is
because we're both working in the week. So
what's the Lottie? The allotment.
the garden. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Oh no, I wasn't going to mention it.
Well, I told David about this years ago, not on the pod, I think, about the most mental allotment, isn't it? Because you walk up Talon, the path to Talon Bay, and I remember when you took us up there, and you were like, "Now come down here," and I was like, "Why?" Because it's down that sort of down there. It's sort of through, but it's like through a hedge, essentially, isn't it? Really, it's like
absolutely.
And you're walking towards the sea, and then you came through that little gate and down the path, and then it just opens up, and you've got an allotment on the cliff edge in Cornwall. It's nuts.
Did that come with the property, or did you?
No, we rent it.
But there aren't any others there, are there? Is it just yours?
Yeah, no, there are others. So we've got one next door, which is a lot bigger and a lot wider. I don't think it's challenging as ours, really. And then there's another two on that
At least
side.
another two on that side.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there are some. I mean, there were quite a few. So in the olden days, they grew sort of veg up there. They had donkeys, grew flowers. Cut flowers and things. So, but a lot of them have been, sort of taken back by nature, really.
How often do you spend up there?
All the spare time we can, really.
Absolutely.
So, certainly that's where we go on a Saturday, and we're like there all day.
And have you always been green fingered, or have you just got?
We've had to become green fingered with that, but no, we weren't. We didn't. We weren't gardeners before, were we?
No.
But we haven't got a garden at the cottage, so that's the reason we got it. And we soon, it's fantastic, but you do need somewhere you can escape.
Yeah.
And it's great because you're not overlooked there. Nobody can see you; they can hear you.
Yeah.
But
After a couple of rosés.
Yeah, well, that goes with the territory.
So you've learned as you've gone along. Then you've worked.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. You learn by your mistakes with that place.
What style of garden is it up there? Is it cottagey?
Oh, it's a bit of everything because it's some bits are quite. So we've got Spiky Corner, and that's quite exotic with palms and phormiums and things, and then we've got the new area, which was the one on the front of the mag, and that's the Kachina. So that's Mediterranean.
I was going to say, it looked a bit
style.
Spanish.
Hey?
Looks a bit Spanish.
Well, it's supposed to be Italian, so failed there.
Oops.
Well, it looks a bit Spanish. Okay.
Work a little harder on the med section.
Yeah, you must nail that Italian look a bit better.
Yeah.
But I want to know where you find because whenever I've tried to work on my garden, I've got such little confidence. I want to know how you find the confidence to go, right, I'm going to do it in a Mediterranean. I always just sort of get it wrong. Where to plant stuff, where to plant the right flowers.
For that particular area, you planned it, didn't you?
Yeah, it's the only
So-
place that area on the mag is the only place that I've actually designed. So this time last year, I sat and designed that and sat right here. So we did plan the planting and everything that we were going to do with it, and we did grown up stuff like measure the area because it's actually quite a small area that level. But everywhere else really has just evolved, or it's been inspired by something that we've seen, or if we've been in the Scillies and something's inspired us, or we've seen something in a salvage yard that then sort of that is what you sort of build that area. So it's got lots of little zones, hasn't it?
Yeah. I'm not quite sure how Indy fits in.
No, we have got
Here we go.
we've got a full-size Indiana Jones.
What?
From the
What a model.
Yeah, so it was something that I believe when the films came out in the 80s, when the first film came out, the studios released these full-size Indiana Jones.
Well, like a statue.
Yeah, and it is.
Why is that not on the front of the magazine out of interest?
Well, I mean, we don't decide what goes in there, but hopefully when they do our feature, he'll get his own. Yeah, he's got a hat.
And that's not in the Mediterranean section?
No, that's in the
No.
woodland area.
Sure.
He's the security.
Sure.
Yeah, it's Lottie's security is Indy. And it's just he's got no legs from his knees, has he?
No, so we propped him in the trees.
So he's in the trees.
It's not sounding as glamorous as it did a few minutes. What's going on with Garden of the Year then? How did this happen? And what's because it's the final. You're in the final of Garden of the Year.
When do you find out? And,
And how do we
So
get
we-
people to vote? And let's tell us how you got in it first of all.
Okay, so it's a competition that they run every year, and you enter by sending in some photos, and which we did. And I believe there was about 1,400 entries, and then they choose. They narrow it, shortlist it down to 8, and those are the 8 winners. So you get a photo shoot.
So they came down and
Yeah, and they come
chap.
down and interview you as well. Yeah, poor photographer. Oh dear. How did
you find out you were shortlisted?
they phoned us, and it was the day before we're going on holiday.
In Dolly. Sorry, Bambi.
let it go.
And Yeah, day before going on holiday, and I'm trying to get the quad started and whatever, and messing around at the garage, and the phone rang, and it was saying, and I just couldn't believe it. I was just so shocked, and thinking, oh shit, we're going away for 2 weeks. And the one thing with a lottery, you have to keep on top of it. You can't just leave it. And normally, when we go away for 2 weeks, we come back and it's hell. and also, we were in sort of a drought, so that wasn't great. So yeah, so we got told. So we were thrilled, didn't expect that. So as part of that, arranged for a photographer to come and do a photo shoot, and then the features editor came and did an interview. So the sort of the big prize was judge's choice, which we didn't get. Another garden got that, but we were happy because we got on the front page. So nothing else comes out of it.
Yeah, that's the one I sent you.
The new standard edition.
Yeah.
Sorry, the cats.
Look at that.
And then there's a highly commended, which is like second place. So we'll find out whether we've won that, but I don't think we've done.
Can people vote?
Yeah. So the third sort of thing is people's choice.
You vote on, you go to gardenersworld.com/garden-competition.
We'll bung all this in the thing as well, and then
you scroll down and choose the Maxine Stringer and Vicky Ward entry.
Right, we'll put the link in, and you're going to fly through it.
Well, we want the tools because you win £2,000 worth of tools.
Do you?
Cordless tools, yeah, and we really need those given where where the garden is.
And is it right that if our listeners vote and you win, that you're offering to pay for a meal for me and Joe at the Blue Peter? Is that right? Is that correct?
We can come down once a month until we're in our late 70s and have.
You're always welcome.
You are always.
Well,
welcome.
we are. Me and Petra talking about coming down to Cornwall in the next couple of months because
we better get some safety goggles in for Petra then.
Oh God, yeah, she did. She caught a bramble in her eye, didn't she?
Yeah,
Forgot about that.
Yeah. On the way out.
And I remember how little fuss she made, and I remember thinking how much fuss I'd be making if I'd scratched my eyeball. She kept going, "I can't see, it's fine," and I was like, I would be howling and crying.
Yeah, I've done it, and it's so painful.
Oh my God! Can I the thing that I keep wanting to say, you said quad, and I want to go back to that. Does Dave? I don't think David knows what that is.
I know what the quad is.
Oh, do you?
That takes the suitcase.
No.
Well, not ours.
I know.
Even though people do ask us to do it.
But these guys have their own quad.
Have you? To get up to the top of the village?
They have a quad
Yes.
bike.
Yeah.
Wasn't it your was it a birthday present or something? Or
It was instead of having an eternity ring, Vicky bought me an eternity quad. Saved my knee.
It is
which
more
was
romantic,
quite
isn't it?
It was an anniversary.
That's
present,
right.
wasn't
It's very kind of
I
you.
remember being wildly jealous, thinking Petra would never get me a quad bike. Never. Why don't I?
Do you ever lay in bed going, "My life's brilliant"?
Or in the kitchen?
Not at all. Not at all. Life is brilliant
Sounds terrific, doesn't it?
for most people.
I loved it when I was down there so much. I absolutely, because I don't know if you remember, we had to leave like a week early because I
Yeah.
was like absolutely gutted.
I remember trying to persuade you that you should stay.
Oh, I wanted to. I really wanted to. I was like obsessed with you just don't feel like the rest of the world's there. You just sort of, do you know what I mean? You just go, I'm in Polperro, nothing else really matters. It was.
I found your garden on the video.
Have you?
Yeah.
On what video?
Oh, wow.
As well.
Is it on YouTube? We'll stick that link in as well and get people
How
to.
often do you go up there and get hammered?
Every Saturday.
They've just walked in
always
from
on a
last
Saturday.
night.
I love your style of garden. Oh, it's so
That's very
lovely.
kind of you. Well, hopefully, if you're ever in the area, you're more than welcome
come
to
and
pop
visit.
I told you they'd
You
invite
really
you
shouldn't
to
have
it.
said that.
I did say
You're
they'll
welcome.
invite you. They'll invite you. They will.
Oh, it just feels like it's that thing where it's really informal. It feels like it's sort of been thrown together, but there's loads of thought gone into it.
Yeah, it really has been
But
friends.
there's so much thought gone in. It's just really. I don't know how you make a garden like that.
And David used to be a gardener, but he just told me some stories that made me lose even more faith in his abilities.
Oh,
Did you really used to be a gardener then?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Sort of more mowing than anything. I lost confidence.
You were like the gardener's assistant without a gardener, weren't you? Sort of like if they had an apprentice, but there was no one teaching.
I found it. I think it's harder than you. What you've done there is really tricky. I find it really hard. It's like being a painter. You can't just turn up and paint. Some people have got it and some people can't. I feel like, anyway.
I think it just evolves, really. That's it, exactly what's happened, because we've had it for probably we got it a couple of years after we moved here, didn't we? And we just didn't know what to do with it. So you used to keep going up there, going up and then going down, and clearing a bit, and then sit there with a few beers and think, I don't know what to do. And then one day we just got some vision, didn't we? And started from there. But it took a long time to get there.
Can you paint? Can either of you paint?
Maxine can, badly.
Now, I think you're stylish. I think you've got an eye. You know what's what. I can't do that.
I'm sure you can.
I'm actually feeling quite resentful.
It's the amount of work, though, isn't it? It's like when me and Petra came, we just sort of sat in the middle of this loveliness.
Yeah,
going, I'd love
how much
this.
work's gone into it?
Yeah, and you just go, I'd like this without the back-breaking agony of having
Getting stuff up there is not easy. So the latest project, I did like a wall feature, and it's supposed to be like a nod to Tuscan sort of feel. It's got a shutter and stuff, but obviously I failed, and it's Spanish. Yeah, and we bought a ton of stone, and then with all the gravel and everything, so I carried up 1.6 ton of stone.
What? But that's a longer walk as well. How far can you get the quad up then?
We can get it up to Dinas Bar, which is the last house on the coast path. So we can get it up to there, but then the rest of it you have to carry. And unfortunately that day we've got a trolley, and the trolley broke, so I did have to carry it.
In a wheelbarrow or literally?
I just carry it. Yeah. And that was a tough day. And then once you get it there, you've got to get it down.
I was going to say it's not, but it's then you down through the path, through the little gate across.
Yeah. So I was at the gate.
Through the trees.
I was at the gate taking said stone from you, and I was doing my strange sizing rationale. I decided to size it in.
Why I don't
from in the range of A cup through to double F. Bizarre.
The only way to do it, in my opinion.
It worked, because then when we need some double A's for that bit, right? Know where they are.
Yeah.
Bloody nightmare.
Do you ever spend time just appreciating it?
Not well. Yeah. After we finish work.
After we finish working on the Saturday.
Yeah. So normally what happens? So in the summer we have cocktail hour, don't we?
Yep.
About 5 o'clock. Which it's not cocktail hour because she just swallows it in one. I like to take some time over it, but and then we always have a bottle of fizz, don't we?
Yeah.
And listen to Rylan on the radio, and then Lisa Tarbuck.
My sister loves Lisa Tarbuck on the radio.
And then it goes that I do.
She actually cannot stop going on about Lisa Tarbuck to me.
A little chatterbox into I messaged Ryland to come on the podcast, and he got back. He was very polite. I replied to him again, and it all went quiet.
Well, he's busy, isn't he?
He is busy. No, he's a lovely man, but I think it was the reality of it coming on the show. He thought, nah.
Well, I had the same response from Lisa Tarbuck.
Anyone you like has said they'll come on and will not come on.
So how?
Well, maybe she will now. Now she's had a shout
exactly.
out.
As will Ryland.
So how do people vote again? Are we going to put the link out, Joe?
Yeah, we're going to put the link, but it's basically Gardener's World competition. and then you have to go to Maxine and Vicky's garden, basically. Oh God, I really want you to win.
Tools for tools. I think that's what you should call it.
Yeah.
What?
Tools for
Tools
tools.
for tools. God, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good episode name. Tools for tools.
Here we go. Do you know
Having
what? I'm voting now. I've just done it.
Oh, you're
I've
wonderful.
done it.
You can do it on multiple devices.
Yeah, any device you've got, you can do it.
It's a cheat. You're saying
It's all around the IP
you're
address.
saying to our biscuits, cheat.
Yes.
Happy to do it.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you. And look,
Oh, thank you.
when do we know if you've won? What's the when's the
I think is it the
Closing date.
22nd?
Closing date.
The closing date's 17th, but I don't think we find out until the issue comes out in December.
Oh, well, keep us posted.
Well, it'll be January's edition, so I think it's the 22nd of December.
Well, if-
We're putting this out tomorrow, so got 2 weeks of voting.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Very kind of you.
And I think the Chatter Biscuits going to go bananas. They're going to vote like crazy. Or they might not, I don't know. No, mate, it's probably had no effect whatsoever, and you'll come sixth.
Yeah, because it's a Spanish garden.
Yeah,
I regret that. I'll probably edit that bit out, won't we, David?
yeah.
Because I look like a tit. Right. So lovely to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks so
And keep
much.
us posted. Keep us posted.
Yeah, and come and visit
Oh,
us.
definitely. I'll talk to Petra about it now. We're coming down, whether you like it or not.
Brilliant. I'll get a safety dog here.